All right, if you got a problem going on in your life and you want to share it with us, which we will turn around and share it with Bert's Show fam, go ahead and hit us up at thebertshow.com. In this email, she wants to know if she should give this dude a second chance or not. And she wants your advice on it. We'll call it the Bert Show Second Chance at Romance. 1-855-BERT-SHOW if you want to get in on it. Really looking for some opinions from all of you because I know you are animal lovers. I had a cat. Mr. Peepers.
Do you remember that character on Saturday Night Live?
No.
Mr. Peepers?
No.
It was Chris Kattan, and he would eat an apple.
That was his name?
Yeah.
I do
Wasn't
remember
it?
that.
Yeah. Mr. Peepers. And he would spit out the apple and be like, bah! And like, it would go everywhere.
Only you remember that, man. And what the
It was so funny.
Don't you wish you could just take that stuff out of your head and like fill it with real information that could help society?
Yeah. I don't remember how many branches of government there is, but I know Mr. Peepers.
I was getting him and Mango confused.
Yeah, but he also did the mango.
Yep.
Yeah.
She says she had him for 5 years, absolutely adored him. So I need to know what you would do in my situation. I've been dating, we'll call him Jeremy, for about 6 months. We didn't really have any major issues and rarely ever had disagreements. The only flaw that I could really see in him is that he is not a cat person. He has a dog and loves dogs, but was not a fan of my cat. He was never cruel to him, but just paid no attention to him and seemed a little bit annoyed anytime he was around him. The only time he'd pay attention to him was to make fun of him because he only had one eye.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing.
Oh, that's why they named him Mr. Peepers.
He's just got one peeper.
So he should be Mr. Peeper.
Yeah, or just wink. Wink.
That's a good one, too.
Well, about 2 weeks ago, Jeremy was spending the night at my house. He'd forgotten to set an alarm before falling asleep, so we woke up late for work. By the time my alarm went off, he was already late for work, so he was in a bit of a panic. He threw on clothes, raced out the door. A couple of minutes later, I was in the shower, and he knocked on the door, and he came in. He told me that Mr. Peepers must have gotten out when he wasn't paying attention. He said he didn't see him, and oh boy.
I was like, why have we been referring to the cat in past tense this entire letter?
I just got to the comma.
Oh, no.
He said he didn't see him, and he backed over him as he was leaving.
Mr. Peepers. Oh, and he only had one eye, so he couldn't even see it coming. This is awful.
Mr. Peepers is no mo.
That's murder.
He wouldn't let me go out there even see him because it was bad,
Oh,
she
my
writes.
God.
Oh, man. I didn't see that coming.
Obviously, I was devastated, but also I was angry. Part of me is trying to be reasonable, but the other part of me knows that he never really cared about my cat and is probably glad it happened. After several hours and me not being able to calm down about it, he got annoyed and we ended up breaking up. Well, that was 2 weeks ago, and I finally calmed down a little. He texted me yesterday to see how I was doing. I don't know if I should forgive him and potentially see if we can do this again, or were my first instincts right to be angry? And is this a deal breaker? From Male.
Oh, can you even come back from that?
I don't think so. I don't
It's
see how
an
you come back.
accident, man.
It was an accident.
It's an accident.
But the
It
fact
was
that
an
he doesn't
accident.
care is going to bother her.
Well, her interpretation is that he didn't care. I'm
But-
sure he
but
cares
also-
about her losing her pet, but probably, the cat's gone. That's probably what he's thinking.
Exactly. And would that be enough reason? He took the cat's life. Would that be enough reason it'd be a deal breaker for me? I mean, especially since in one day of her grief and mourning, she kept talking about it. Several hours of her being sad and not being able to calm down, he got annoyed. Like, he got
Like, get
annoyed with her.
over it. It's just a cat.
In a few
That was bad.
hours, that's crazy.
That is wild. And I don't know. She didn't specify if he texted her within that 2 weeks, but if he texted her 2 weeks later after killing her cat to check on her, that's insane.
Yeah. If they haven't, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully the text she's referring to is the text to rekindle, and that there were follow-up texts from of apologies and etc. But I don't know how you come back from that.
It's a tough one.
I don't know how you come back from killing somebody's pet
It's like-
accidentally.
Like, I do know some families, like there are some members in the family where a pet, like my dad was like this, a pet has its place. It's just a pet. It's not a family member. It's just a pet. So if he comes from one of those family and he's like, It's just a cat. Get over it already. It's been 2 weeks. I could see how you'd be like, forget it, man. I can't look at you in the eyes anymore.
Now it's not it's not about the act. It's not about the manslaughter.
Yeah.
It's about how you reacted to the act. And so it's how he handles himself post killing Mr. Peepers.
Yes.
That would determine whether or not their relationship has any second chance.
This is like when Dwight killed Angela's cat.
Yes.
And she found out, he was like, I just put her in the freezer. She was already dead. And then they saw claw marks in the freezer. So she's like, that cat wasn't dead.
Oh,
and he's
right.
like, she needed to be put out
That's
of
right.
life. She was a
That's
miserable
right.
cat. Man, no, unforgivable.
I tell you what I will do tonight when Eliza is drinking milk. She's going to spill some on the ground.
Pour one out for Mr.
Pour
Peepers.
one out for Mr. Peepers.
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
The Bert Show.